I hate you from 2008.
Okay, let's get into this. This is the ScrewAttack top 10 from this may be 2008, 2009, maybe. So this is ancient internet video. It's broken up into 2 parts. I'll stop and I'll start it as you guys see fit. This just says part 1 and part 2. I'm assuming part 1 is 20 through 11. And you guys just say stop at any time. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We'll be reading those off afterwards, and I'll let these guys roll if they want to roll out, so we can read off those super chats and direct donations and Rumble rants and Twitch bits and all that stuff. But thank you guys very much for your support. Once again, that allows us to do fun things like this and to take a break from all the insanity that is gaming and culture and everything else there. So let's get into it. This is the ScrewAttack top 20 Super Nintendo games from way back in the day. Let's see what we got here. I hope this is right.
Nostalgia, baby.
The
Zombies ate my neighbors.
They right off the bat.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No. Some would say the best console ever made with one of the most extensive and impressive game libraries in history. Games that can still hang in this era of high-definition gaming and fully orchestrated soundtracks. Freaking awesome.
Yes.
With so many damn fine games, there is no way we can limit this just down to 10. So we had to put together
Mega Man X2 is what it is.
Yep.
Mega Man X2.
Non-stop fun, baby.
list. So where's your favorite game gonna land? Let's find out. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig for ScrewAttack's Top 20 Super NES Games.
By the way, quick note about this. Did you ever know, I learned this much later.
Put together 2 lists.
Right here on the,
your favorite game
logo here.
Let's find out. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig for ScrewAttack's Top 20.
These buttons right here, the green and the yellow, all those are meant to reflect the controller's buttons.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I had no idea.
The Japanese ones.
Yes.
The Japanese ones have those colors.
I had no idea. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
20 Super NES games. 20! You know you've got one hell of a list when Donkey Kong barely makes it. A game that looked a full generation ahead of its time, DKC gave gamers a boner with its visuals.
The music!
And a badass soundtrack to boot. One of the smoothest platformers ever. This is also the first time we're introduced to Diddy Kong, who has since moved on to bigger and better things. Like kicking ass. In all honesty, we had a really tough time deciding which DKC to put on the list, but ultimately the original won out due to its initial wow factor it had on gaming.
19. Easy breezy.
You want to talk about?
Oh, you want? Here's your KI right here, man.
Yep, there we go.
Such a difference between the home port and the actual arcade. When you look at them side by side, it's night and day. But at the time, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was still pretty amazing that you could play it at your house.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Wow, what's your best combo on Killer Instinct? One of the coolest fighting games ever made. We spent hours on this arcade port and still play the soundtrack CD Killer Cuts at the ScrewAttack HQ. Constantly.
Not true.
A game that's all about fast-paced fun and giant combos. We can only hope that the rumored KI3 becomes a reality.
What? Think about that. This was a decade before Killer Instinct. The reboot was announced and they were still talking about it then.
That's crazy.
It's on the Xbox 360. Good Lord. Crazy.
I can't believe DKC is number 20, but again, that just shows you like how many great games are on this system. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like I'm not sure if I really had to sit down and think about it. I don't know if Donkey Kong Country would make my top 10 only because there's just so many good games.
Right. Well, and I think that was the logic was you got to start off with something that is so well known to really preface the idea that this is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Smart.
Yep.
Johnny's over here like upset. He's like mad. He's like, I'm fucking off this panel.
It should be higher. It should be higher. But at the same time, that angle from a creative standpoint, I'm like, nope, that's smart. Open with Donkey Kong Country. You hooked them in.
Yeah.
Well done.
Exactly.
It's two rare games in a row, by the way.
Rare was gone. They were kings, man. Rare.
One of the sad what ifs of video game history is if Nintendo was able to keep Rare, because gosh, it is just for the most part just been a flop going to Microsoft.
Yep.
One of the SNES launch titles, F-Zero served almost as a tech demo for what Mode 7 graphics were all about. It set the standard for racing games at the time and still stands up as one of the best ever. The perfect blend of cakewalk controls for beginners and incredibly tough tracks for experts, F-Zero is a must-download for the Virtual Console. The only thing that sucks about F-Zero is that its sequel never actually made it over to the United States.
Now we're playing F-Zero 99, which is insane.
Yes, that is so fun. It is. I mean, it's ridiculous. Johnny, have you played F-Zero 99 at all?
I have played F-Zero 99. I was expecting like an F-Zero GX remaster or a new F-Zero game, like new. So I was kind of disappointed with 99 initially, but it is fun as hell. It's so fun.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I have a little negative bias towards those 99 games, but I saw Craig playing it. I think I'm gonna give it a go.
It's pretty
fun.
wild.
It is great.
There's some legit strategy to that one, man. It's tough.
Very much so. Very much so. And that's what Nintendo does extraordinarily well is they take these old games, put a new twist on them while still adding several layers of depth.
Yep.
And that's just what Nintendo does exceptional. Now, I'll tell you what. I remember I am extremely biased towards UN Squadron. I love UN Squadron. I heard the first 2 notes of this, and I know it's UN Squadron. Some people hate it, but I love it.
Hey, it's no secret, we're huge fans of shoot-'em-ups here at ScrewAttack. So when it came down to it, we had an incredibly tough decision to make. Gradius 3 with its customizable plane, or the sublime controls of UN Squadron, a port that is actually better than the arcade version. Damn. Both games
I
you
didn't
can just
play
pick
UN
up.
Squadron.
What's that?
I didn't play UN Squadron.
Oh my God.
Played Gradius.
That's probably the bigger thing about it was the UN Squadron port from the arcade was way better than the arcade version. And the arcade version was tough as nails hard, but the SNES version was still extremely hard, but manageable. And it had new features and stuff attached to it. It was great, man. It was really good.
Play right now. Both games have great power-ups, and both games just have stellar soundtracks. We choose both. Why? Because it's our list and not yours. We can do whatever the hell we want.
All right.
Right, logic.
3 words.
I don't think this would make it today.
Super FX chip. Or is that 4 words? Can you believe that we actually thought this looked good? And who would have thought taking a forest animal and throwing him in a futuristic plane would actually be a great idea? Either way, it's worked out pretty damn well.
Yeah, it did.
With multiple paths on your way to Venom, this mix of polygons was only spoiled by one thing. Saving that stupid frog's ass every few seconds. I hate Slippy.
And you guys probably know immediately.
Oh yeah. Turtles in Time.
Right.
Turtles in Time.
Here's some amphibians.
All right. If Turtles in Time not being in the top 10, I am done. I'm leaving now.
He's out. He's out. I'm done.
I'm out. I'm done. Go ahead.
Well, we need to know what the top 10 is. That's the thing. You gotta stick around and wait, which is important.
The best beat 'em up ever. Turtles in Time. A game that was so great, all we need to do is show you gameplay.
Oh my God, man. The art, the animation, the personality, incredible.
You know you love it.
I think that game, obviously, there's a lot of nostalgia to it, but it's still such a great game. And do you remember when they made the Xbox 360 reimagining of it? That was released and it was all dark and they changed all the music. That to me was just like the biggest slap in the face.
I haven't thought about that one forever, but I think that's why, because it was a slap in the face that it came and I forgot it immediately.
Yes. Yeah. And they added all sorts of I remember one of the things they added to it, they added diagonal running to it, which sounds like a small and probably good change, but it totally changed the way the game played and it felt totally different. It was TMNT Turtles in Time, reshelled or something. I don't remember what it was called.
I didn't play it, but I remember the discussions around it and seeing clips of it.
I hated it.
Some say this version's broken. We say we spent too many days, weeks, months on our Super Nintendo playing it to care. It's only broken if you know the difference, and when Street Fighter II hit our homes in all its 16-bit glory, we couldn't tell. Throwing in some crazy-ass speed in the game gave us a glimpse of what was later to come in fighting games, but if it was too fast, you could always slow it down to the original speed. So slow. With the added speed and the ability to play as the final bosses for the first time on your SNES, being bombarded by fireballs never felt so liberating.
So the music played in the background of that was that's the 7 stars ending music. It's like really, really hard to get. And I remember like you couldn't go on YouTube and like download soundtracks at the time. We had to like go capture the music ourselves.
Yeah.
So going through and getting that just for that was like a really big badge of accomplishment just for that stupid intro or just for that stupid entry in our top 20 games. I don't know. I just remember that. Good stuff.
Mario Kart Wii right around the corner, it's time to take a look back and reflect on just where the series came from. Split screen fun with fast-paced tracks and, of course, a giant flying fish that gives you trophies. Someone had to be high when they came up with this stuff. While the Grand Prix was fun, the real kicker of the original Mario Kart was the battle mode.
Battle mode,
and let's
baby.
not forget the red turtle shell, terrorizing gamers since 1993. Konami was one of the kings of the Super Nintendo. It seemed like they were just constantly pumping out greatness. Contra 3 is no exception. Building on 2 incredible NES titles, Contra 3 lived up to its name by making everything bigger, better, and adding more weapons. Now, admittingly, the overhead shooter levels, they were a little bit awkward. But the sheer bliss you get when mowing over bad guys in a tank or taking down a 3-story turtle, more than makes up for it. Pure 2-player greatness, even if the other player sucks. Jose.
Hey, Craig, I got a question. So, is Sunset Riders in this top 20?
Oh, good question.
Guess you'll have to wait and see, won't you? I'm
gonna protest if it's not.
Yeah, okay. I'll make sure to tell 2008 Craig he sucks.
The first time we saw this game in Nintendo Power, we pooed our pants. Seriously. It was such an upgrade over the previous Castlevanias, we could hardly wait to get our grubby little nasty hands on it. We said this before and we'll say this again, one of the best soundtracks of any Castlevania game. Yeah, that good. Now you would think they would have just named the game Castlevania 4, but they had to throw Super in front of it because they knew the game was going to beat so much ass. The graphics, the soundtracks, the secrets, it was everything you looked for in a Super Nintendo game. Just not quite good enough to make the top 10.
That's a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Now we're getting to the heavy hitters.
Yes. All right, there we go. Get that out of there.
So obviously, I can go ahead and name games that are going to be in top 10. You're going to have Super Mario World. You're going to have Super Metroid. You're going to have A Link to the Past. You're going to have Chrono Trigger. You're going to have Sunset Riders. You better. Let's see. You left Donkey Kong Country out, which is crazy.
Donkey Kong Country 2 not being in the top 20 is a little like, wow.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country 2 is a big deal.
And Turtles in Time not being in the top 10 is wild. Let's see. We'll see. That's about 5 though. You know. But
you guys hear that? Do you guys hear this?
Is that the sound of kicking Dan out?
No,
Dan has a power outage.
Okay.
Okay.
This is me sending an email to myself in 2008, letting me know how bad you suck.
Yeah. Somebody just said in the chat, Mega Man X has got to be in there. The fact that we haven't talked about Mega Man X and Mega Man X2 especially, so good. Yeah. So good.
Oh, well, let's find out, friends.
Here we go.
Warning, the following list contains some of the best games of all time.
This is true.
If your favorite is not on the list or not where you want it to be, don't be a bitch and freak out.
Uh-oh.
Jeremy getting called out.
Jeremy
let's go. I am going to send a strongly worded tweet if my game is not on this list.
The Super Nintendo was just that good of a system. Hey, I'm Stuttering Craig for ScrewAttack's Top 20 Super NES Games, 10 through 1.
10.
What do you get when you take a desolate land?
How the shit did we not talk about ActRaiser? Have you guys played ActRaiser?
I have not.
Oh, well, Johnny's a late bloomer.
Yeah.
The fact you have played Chrono Trigger still blows my mind.
Again, take it up with my dad, all right? Ask him why you didn't buy him. I was like 2 when this console dropped. Damn.
Is it? Gun Home Max says Craig called out Jeremy from 2008. All right, here we go.
With evil demons and combine them with a little naked angel friend. ActRaiser. While developing a city for your people to live in is incredibly satisfying, you've also got the kicker of romping through monsters to some of the best tunes in video game history. Man, just listening to this makes you want to rip somebody's head off. Oh yeah, video game soundtrack aggression.
Number 9.
Cute, cuddly, and unique, Yoshi's Island took shooting eggs at your ass and made it incredibly fun. Oh, whining baby Mario, you're so adorable. While the cuteness of the game may have turned some gamers off, they missed out on sublime controls and gameplay.
The control was so good,
baby
man.
Mario. Now you're starting to annoy me. But this boss battle, absolutely epic. Taking on a giant baby Bowser from a few miles away while the sky is falling and he rushes you? Wow. I hate you, shut up!
That was the most annoying part. Was him crying constantly. That was enough to like take it down at least a point because all the crying from him.
Well, you know, the solution to that, Jeremy, is you get good.
Get good. That is true. That is true.
Number 8.
Well, pretty much every existing NES franchise that made the jump to the Super Nintendo received a huge facelift. For our money, Mega Man made the biggest jump. Moving away from destroying robot men and focusing on kicking robot animal ass, Mega Man X brought forth a plethora of new abilities never before seen in the series, including the ability to bust a cap with a fireball straight out of Street Fighter 2. Making that jump and killing yourself off just to get it? The things we do for the little extras.
Number 7.
Yeah. In fact, that's such a great Easter egg. The Hadouken, just hidden in there. It's so good. So good. And that music, by the way, that's the theme song for the Sigma theme song when you're at the character select screen. That to me always resonated as just such a badass. It has that like mechanical dun, 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 dun.
Dude, I've heard a lot of people do like covers of those with their guitars and stuff on YouTube. That soundtrack is, like you said, badass. That's a perfect word to describe it.
Yeah.
We've only got 7 games left.
Yep.
Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Chrono Trigger. You're going to have Street Fighter in here somewhere.
Street Fighter was already on it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What number was Street Fighter?
Like 12. Remember I was talking about how slow the original game was? The super
okay.
I think it's 12 or 13, yeah.
Let's see. What else is going to be in here?
Mario RPG, possibly?
No, because he didn't play Mario RPG.
I was not an RPG guy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Final Fantasy, though? Final Fantasy? Did you have a Final Fantasy in here?
I don't know. I guess.
All right, let's continue.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Hey, if you thought Super Mario 3 was impressive, this made you blow your load. Rarely does a commercial actually solve the game.
Come on, Craig. 2008, Craig, what are you doing?
2008, Craig is canceled.
Damn it, get him out of here. Flip your stupid backwards hat.
Not even top 5?
Listen, don't just wait. I don't know.
I hate you from 2008.
Hey, listen. This is the ScrewAttack top 10, not the Stuttering Craig top 10.
Listen,
all right?
Then leave. Oh my God!
In
2008, I had sense.
My choices.
Kick Craig now. Blabs, run the show. We need somebody qualified to talk. Clearly, it's not Craig. There we go.
Hello. Carry on.
Is Super Mario World in your top 5, Blabs?
I've never played.
Just say yes.
Get out of the. Get her out. Me and Jeremy are running this stream.
Let's run this thing. Super Mario World should be number 1.
Introducing the next generation from Nintendo. New Super Mario World. Created especially for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more...
Dude, when you could flip around on there, it was the most coolest thing ever.
A bit cooler, a bit weird, a bit more revolutionary, a bit more Mario.
What a
bit more
freaking...
what you want.
What a commercial.
And it's yours.
All right, I guess we'll have him back now.
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
You didn't even try to justify it. He just drops it at 7 and like on to the next one.
Leading up to the commercial, it said this commercial sums it up perfectly. I can't say it any better than the commercial.
Sums up perfectly why it should be 1 or 2.
Well, you don't even know what number 6 is. We don't even know.
It doesn't matter. There's not 6 games better than Super Mario World. God. Anyway,
number 6.
This
is a legendary one right here.
A journey of a boy, a girl, and a
This
sprite.
one doesn't get mentioned as much as Chrono Trigger, but it's on the same level.
Right.
You know, Chrono Trigger's better, but
Yeah.
Where not only you could play, but so could your friends. That's right, multiplayer. In an RPG? Heck yes! Taking a different approach than traditional turn-based RPGs, Secret of Mana used an unconventional ring system for ease, which depending on your style, you either loved or you hated it. We loved it. The only
That
drawback
music,
to Secret of
man.
Mana is that if you want to pick it up nowadays, it's going to cost you upwards towards $70.
Okay, we should probably look. Blabs, can you see how much Secret of Mana is on price charting?
it's probably more than that now.
Oh, I
Yeah, because
guarantee
I'm like,
Yeah.
it ain't too bad now.
Yeah,
No,
Blabs, let us-
it's still it's pricey.
Yeah, let us know how Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo is. Look for the various prices, Blabs. Let us know.
5,
A totally different change of pace to the Mario series. Super Mario RPG
you
introduced a
did.
number of different characters
Okay.
to the
Remember, this is a ScrewAttack top 10.
Right,
not a
right.
Stuttering Craig top 10.
This is how
We
you
have to
justified
channel
it.
our anger somewhere, Craig. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yell
yeah.
at me 15 years ago. That's fine. Here we go.
Ray that we never heard from again. Mario had moved away from jumping on Goomba's heads to now attacking, waiting patiently, hoping you don't die, scrolling through your attack options, thinking about what you want to do, and then attacking again. And people loved it, almost as much as G4 loves to air old episodes of Cops.
number 4,
Damn.
Labs, do we
I already
have...
know that music. I know that music. Yep.
Hello, I can actually present this to you guys.
No, I don't want to present it. Just tell us.
Oh, well, fine then. Okay, so a loose price would be $45. The complete price, $169.97. A new price, $544. A graded, $16,000, which I think is bananas. Yeah, and it just goes on and on.
Okay.
Okay.
Or the manual for $29.99.
There you go. You
Like-
buy the book for 30 bucks.
Wow.
Thanks, Blabs.
Wow. Thank you, Blabs.
Oh crap! I gotta go back forward. It starts the whole thing over again. Where are we at? Oh no, here we go. There we go. It's better. There we go.
Another RPG? Using its
music.
massive 32 megs of power, Chrono Trigger made gamers say wow the first time they popped it in their Super Nintendo.
Listen to that music.
Let's talk about the awesome points. Innovative fighting system, check. Multiple endings, check. Time travel, check. Busting out crazy-ass double and triple text, you bet your ass. When was the last time you saw a giant frog crush a minion? Hell, they even had a little cameo from a game that may or may not be in the list later on. And the Power Glove. Will we ever see another game in the Chrono series? Unfortunately, it looks like the Chrono Bus has made its last stop.
Let me say something about this.
Such good. His music is amazing, man.
There are people who come up to me today, or they'll tweet me something, and they still ask about the Chrono Bus. The Chrono Bus made it was an appearance in 2 videos, and for some people oh, the Chrono Bus is rolling again or whatever. And it's like, okay.
Well, if I'm alive in 10 years, I'm gonna come up to you and be like, "You put Super Mario World number 7."
Right.
Let's see what number 3 is and see how much it's gonna piss you off.
Oh, no.
Oh crap! I restarted it. Here we go.
Well, there's only 2.
Now we know. Here we are. All right, here we go. We're seeing them. I didn't realize I went so forward.
I already know exactly what the top 3 are now. I know what the top 3
number
Of course you
4,
do.
Hey, I can listen to this
Another
again.
RPG time ever in Final Fantasy. It looks
what?
like the Chrono Bus has made its last stop.
number 3,
Speaking of music,
I remember the first time I rented Final Fantasy 3 or 6 and realized, what the hell? I can't beat this game in 3 days, and I'm gonna have to rent it again. Shit. Final Fantasy 3 is a hallmark on the Super Nintendo. Multiple
Damn,
plot
that music's
lines, one of the
good.
most badass mofos in video game history, and of course, the opera scene. While Final Fantasy V was remarkable, Final Fantasy VI took everything to a new level. Some argue that this soundtrack is the best in the Final Fantasy series. That is a statement.
number 2,
Now here is an upgrade
I know what number
for
1
you.
is.
A link
course
to
you
the
do.
past.
Yep.
This is the first time we're actually introduced to a major Zelda storyline. Link fought in both the Light and Dark Worlds in an attempt to
By
foil
Egon.
Ganon's evil plans with the Triforce. Also included for the first time is what might be the most useful weapon in Zelda history, the hookshot. Why use a boomerang when you can just stab a guy from the other side of the screen? Also, don't forget about that badass fairy who upgrades your Master Sword.
Yeah.
Your sword is stronger. You can feel it throbbing in your hand. That's sexual.
All right, there you go. So you guys, obviously, we're not going to say it. Chat, what's number one?
Dude, as someone who goes by Zeltroid, you got the top two right. Jeremy's going to have to hold down the anger for number 7, Mario World, because all is forgiven from me because the top two are amazing.
I mean, imagine what the number one game could be for a brand called ScrewAttack. I wonder what.
Right?
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
It was so good that they had to name themselves ScrewAttack. That's how it works,
right?
Yeah, I can't be mad at the top two.
If you missed the first half of the Super Nintendo Top 20, hey, there's still time. Go back and watch it. But in the meantime, let's recap the top 10 before we get to number 1. Number 10, ActRaiser. Number 9, Yoshi's Island. Number 8, Mega Man X. Number 7, Super Mario World. Number 6, Secret of Mana. Number 5, Super Mario RPG. Number 4, Chrono
Very
Trigger.
RPG
Number
heavy.
3, Final
Very
Fantasy.
RPG heavy.
The Super Nintendo was very RPG.
Yeah, it
heavy.
was. It was.
Besides the PlayStation, it's kind of thought of as like the lowest of G's when it comes to in like the best place to find RPGs, at least classic RPGs for sure.
Fantasy 6 and number 2, Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Pay attention once again to the use. If there's one thing that ScrewAttack did well, it was I thought we used music really well.
Yeah, I did very good with music.
100%.
Yeah, the way that you would lead in to every one of your video games, and you would use the most iconic music that was attached to that particular game to hook people. It's good stuff.
It was always the title screen or the first level. Very rarely was it in the case of like the 7 stars outro, you know, the 7 stars ending. Very rarely, but it was always because most people played everybody heard the title screen. Everybody's played the first level music. Very rarely was it something later.
Yep, sure.
It's number 1.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
The largest game available at the time at a heaping 24 megs, Super Metroid is the best 2D action adventurer ever, let alone on the Super Nintendo. From the opening sequence, you knew that you were in for one thing: greatness. A game that is 100% complete from beginning to end. There's only one word to describe how you feel after playing Super Metroid: satisfied. Whether it was the throwback to the old Metroid levels at the beginning of the game, or going out of your way to save your little buddies at the end to see if little Pixel escaped the exploding planet.
By the way, way before the whole save the animals thing, way before the speedrunning community picked up on that.
Super Metroid left nothing not done. Super Metroid, like any of the games on this list, could easily be considered the best game of all time.
See, we redeemed it at the end right there. And we said, hey, there's 20 games. They could all be the best. It just kind of depends.
The presentation of that of Super Metroid was fantastic. The way,
Samus's thing, it's so good. It's just so fantastic.
It is. Craig, have you played Dread yet?
No, I have not.
Oh,
so good.
Dread.
So good.
Like, I don't think Johnny would agree with me because I mean, I know it's a
I don't fault you for it. I don't fault you for it.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, I picked Dread over Super Metroid. I never thought I would pick anything over Super Metroid, and I still think Super Metroid probably the better game, but I just love Dread so much.
I'm not gonna lie though, for me, it was the Prime series is another level for me. Being in the helmet and experiencing it, and the soundtrack of the Prime games. But you're right, I can't fault you for Dread. It's so good. So yes, Craig, played it.
Yeah.
I think that's on the list. There's several games on the list. I need to play RoboCop because you can shoot people in the dick.
Prioritize that one.
I mean, that clearly goes to the top. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing how many excellent games that are out there that you just don't have an opportunity to play. You know, time is of the essence these days, as they say. But Dread is definitely on that list. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.